Goedenavond, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Earlier this evening, I put up an article taking one South African paper to task about their ridiculous comments regarding a Facebook page, and obviously written by a loony lefty. Now, it's interesting because Darby drew my attention to this article, which is far more balanced, and it's actually pretty well hits the nail on the head. And this is what they say. The daily occurrence of violent attacks on people in South Africa and the ongoing farm attacks and farm murders is not acceptable in any civilized society. Far too often it is argued that the violent and demonic behavior does not affect only white civilized communities, but that it is the norm in townships and black rural areas where black-on-black violence is just as prevalent. Well, that's the point. Why should civilized, functional communities suffer this barbaric, savage behavior? But it's deeper than that. The attacks on whites, and especially on white farmers, is also driven by political parties and leaders in South Africa. The call by parties like the EFF and BLF, who are regularly involved in motivating the masses to kill whites and demanding that the land be given back to the blacks, which history has proven was never theirs in the first place, is adding to the problem. And yes, the violence that blacks perpetrate against their own is just as unacceptable. But the point is that the barbaric nature of these attacks on whites is associated with extreme violence, hatred, torture, rape, and are in violation of every natural, civilized human law. Farm attacks are often argued away as just normal crime. Well, if that kind of behavior is normal, then there is a big problem, and that problem is in fact the symptom of an uncivilized society where savages roam free to do what they please in an ungodly manner, perpetrating all kind of evil. The ANC government, who have been accused of complicity in these atrocious attacks, denies their existence, and the left liberal mainstream media remains silent. Now, that is absolutely spot on. This kind of uncivilized savage behavior is not only applicable to South Africa, but can be seen across sub-Saharan Africa, where violence, ancestral worship, and evil perpetrated by black tribes have destroyed everything in their path. And this is apparently quite acceptable to the left liberal world and their propaganda media machines, and all done in the name of democracy. Black leaders denounce everything white and call for black culture to take over everything. Well, what culture? The result is only utter destruction, and this is seen on daily with black communities protesting and destroying everything they can get their hands on. These leaders make these calls wearing designer clothes made by whites to television crews using white manufactured technology. They make calls on white-created cell phones and stand on white-engineered platforms, drive white-manufactured cars, and eat white-farmed food, live in white-designed houses, and drive on white-engineered roads, and use white-engineered technology every second of their lives. What have these black leaders and tribes as savages ever built, made, created, or engineered? It is often said that 3,000 years later, and all they invented was a stick. The daily reports of black leaders pillaging everything in their path with corruption, theft, lies, destruction of every functional state entity, municipality, and anything of value is testament to what the problem actually is, and the masses of uncivilized savages roaming around searching to kill and destroy are taking their lead from this behavior. Now, I think that article is absolutely spot on. It really is hitting the nail on the head. And there's another report here, which is from the same paper called South African Today, and it's about the farm murders that are taking place, or farm attacks, I should say, because there's only been one murder, and even one murder is too many during April. There have been 15 farm attacks already in April, and there were 30 during March. 2 were averted, but there were 28 farm attacks that took place, and there were 2 farm murders in March, and as I said, there was 1 in April. And these farm murders are not, going in and shooting someone. Normally, it's normally where they torture them, and it's just shocking, just like that article said. All right, I'm going to close it off there, but things are definitely imploding in South Africa, and the situation is getting grave, very, very grave as we get closer to the elections. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a great evening. Bye for now.